Speaking of wet noodles in your mouth, welcome back, everyone.
Oh,
Well,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
yeah.
Uh, Last we left our heroes, we were in a day of downtime at the monastery here on the mountain in the Zephyrin Mountains. Uh, Reverie had requested of Temerity to copy Alatar to keep for herself. At the end of the day, made the switcheroo and said, "You keep Alatar, I'll keep the copy."
come on now.
To which Temerity was delightfully surprised and obliged. Through a message from Professor to Z, you guys let some of the old crew know that Temerity was found back on the mountain, and asked, and Z kind of took it upon herself to get the gang together to check in on her, and kind of convinced her to go back to Edbay with them. When all
Tribe.
was said and done, tribe indeed. Uh, The rest of you engaged in some other activities during this day of downtime, wrapping up some loose ends and things of the sort. So as we return to the mountain, I believe our heroes were discussing at this point what is next, and I believe that
Oh,
the next step for y'all is to head back down the mountain and head back towards Wayburn Port to board your ship so you can kind of get sailing. So let's go back to Monastery. So morning has come, and our old crew has come to collect temerity, and I think you guys were about ready to start heading off. So, uh, yeah, what you guys want to do?
Let's go.
Does everyone have all their things? No one's missing anything, right?
I have Char Char and Scully's in my bag.
Good. Okay.
As ready as we're going to get, I think.
Well, if we get down there early enough, we'll still be able to meet the I guess I can't call it a cart, but the the man, the man who said he'd take us back.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Thank you all for being here so that we could stay and getting us into the mountain and Temerity, be good.
You too?
Thank you. Let's go.
Let's go.
Bye.
Let's go.
let's go.
Let me set a couple things up here. Any other goodbyes or anything that you want to say to any of the monks here on the mountaintop as you prepare to make your way down?
I think Yuki will take a minute, like before everybody gathered up in the morning. She would have taken a minute to say goodbye to Zhao Mao, to pay respects and say goodbye to Kiyoshi Sado, and I'm sure to harass Catch one last time before leaving.
Naturally. Anything to Sephi or Z or Temerity as they prepare to teleport back away?
Don't get
I think
trapped in any more things.
I think at least for like Z, I think she would have said her goodbyes to Professor before heading down in the morning, and then just met up with Temerity and Seppi to get ready for the transport.
All right. How early do you guys want to start making your way out?
Noon, 2 p.m.
No, I'm just carrying Reverie. She's sleeping. It's fine.
Earlier is probably better.
We're like 9 o'clock.
Sounds good.
All right. So heading out, it'll get to be if you're heading straight down the mountain without any other sightseeing stops along the way, it'll take you to about mid-morning, to mid to late morning to get to the bottom of the mountain, back where the caravan had dropped you off. So you make your way back down, and we'll head back to the world map as Sephi, Easy, and Temerity. They give one final wave, and with a wink of an eye, are teleported out. With
After Sepka teleports there to grab them and then teleports back.
yeah,
But it's like calling Dad. We're at the party late and stuff's done.
Ready to go, Dad.
they returned with one extra person in tow, with Sir Kelvar now kind of hovering around Temerity at all times.
Oh yeah, she's never. Good. Have fun with that, Temerity. That's what you get for not coming home.
It's still not home.
It could be if he would just fucking show up.
I know. I'll come visit soon.
I'm gonna go kill something.
Back to the mountain, to the world map. There we go. Yeah. So you make it down the mountains, like I said, about mid-late morning, and as chance would have it, you see the same caravan that brought you to the mountains from Wayburn Port. It is a single camel-drawn cart that is being drawn by a man that did not think to copy his token. Nope, that's the wrong map.
Hanging out.
Wow, there he is.
I don't think that's the same guy.
Is it not? Thought it was. Hang on a second. No, it's the same guy.
He's a changeling.
Everyone is changelings.
In the cart, the camel, kind of pulling around, you see there's a couple of other quote unquote explorers from the museum at Wayburn Port that are being carried in tow. You can kind of hear him do his spiel as he passes this group of people through some of the ruins of the old Kakabesh, and the cart comes up close to where the path took you up through the mountains and kind of stops there. And as it does, the cart stops in front of you. You see this guy look over to you. He smiles and he says, "Oh, new passengers coming from down the mountain, eh?"
Yep. We're making our way back to Wayburn Port, if you don't mind us joining.
Oh, of course. It's been a long time since I've seen someone come out this way, but yeah, I mean, heading back there all the same. So yeah, of course, you're welcome to join. Welcome. My name is Varian Sandwalker.
Varian, don't you remember us? From before?
From before?
You dropped us off.
He kind of frowns a bit, and he looks over each of you and kind of shakes his head slowly. He says, "No, I'm sure I would have remembered." And then his eyes kind of stop at Ren for a moment, and says, "You all?"
His response is reasonable, however, it makes no sense. Did we shift to a different reality?
No.
Are we certain we did not shift to a different reality?
I mean, everyone else remembered us.
Everything seemed the same up at the mountain.
Is this a joke?
Uh,
Is he joking? Please tell me he's joking. Can I inside check this?
yeah, sure.
18.
Why do we just weren't memorable?
His reaction, Reverie, seems genuine.
I cast my detect magic at the professor's prompting.
You cast your detect magic, and you do not pick up anything magical, other than your companions.
Everything other than every fucking magical thing all of us are carrying. Or are. Oh, she's just gonna shake her head at Professor. Just maybe he just forgot.
Have you seen us? How do you forget us? How do you forget us? And he gestures grandly with his hands at Ren.
Well, I mean, they do sometimes have the mummies come back to life.
Are you insinuating that Varian is a mummy?
No, I just meant, maybe that's more exciting than just us.
I guess.
Narco, your detect thoughts, the surface thoughts you come up with, also come back with a genuine kind of confusion as to why he doesn't understand why you think that he should know you, because he doesn't recall seeing you.
Did we?
No, far more interesting. Professor, didn't you have some encouragement and encounters with modified memory spells?
He scrunches up his nose and yes.
Could the same thing perhaps be happening here?
Could be. Does anyone have...
What if it's not him that's the problem? What if it was the first him that was a problem?
Are y'all kind of discussing this out loud?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
It's trying to keep it quiet, but yeah, we're definitely out loud.
Ren has no chill. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Zero chill.
You see, Varian doesn't really respond to any of the chatter that you guys are having. He just kind of sits there in his seat holding the reins to the camel while the other passengers in the cart are just kind of whispering amongst each other. But he smiles, and he keeps a polite demeanor all the same.
I'm going to cast Detect Evil and Good. Just in case. Just in case I, need to add another pair of glasses to my collection.
Aberration, Celestial, Elemental, Fey Fiend, or Undead, you detect none of these from Varian.
Alright. I vote we just take the ride back to Wayburn Port. See if there's anything else amiss, and discuss that. At least we can get on our boat and discuss it private.
But we asked him to pick us up here, right?
Well, the tour comes this way all the time.
Right.
Narco is going to send a message spell to Reverie. Right now, my leading theory is either someone modified Varian's memories, or the Varian we traveled with earlier was an imposter, possibly an echo.
I really wish I had Alatar here right now.
Yuki's gonna like look at all the people on the wagon, like being like, "What the fuck's happening?" and look at everybody and say, "Should we get on then to
Oh,
move this along?"
You see the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
You see the people in the wagon are like, oh, they're like basically like straight up like soccer moms. Like they have
Hi.
like the safari gear on, the big rimmed hats, dark
Yes,
sunglasses,
yes,
the
I
like
love it.
sunscreen like smeared on their faces.
I do not think we will encounter problems here.
Jade will get up into the wagon. Hi.
That's
Sorry for the delay.
Oh no,
I
no.
think we got confused. We've met a lot of people.
Rainbow follow. Hello, this is Char Char, and this is Dave.
Well, welcome, welcome.
Yuki will hop up as well.
I just say how much I love the visual of Ren and his whole centaur self clomping up into this.
Wrench is standing in the center of the caravan.
Caravan kind of like leans to one side as he steps in with the weight of Ren's the weight of Ren's body just kind of like lowers the side a little bit.
Fun.
Balances out as he gets to the center of the aisle.
I'm joining the others, but I'm not giving my name.
That's fine.
No, I don't say that all.
Oh, okay.
It's out of character.
Gotcha. So as you climb on board, he kind of leans over the back of the driver's seat. He says, "Have you guys taken this tour before?"
yep.
Oh, well, then I hope you don't mind revisiting some of the sites for these folks that have joined me from the museum.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah,
Very
it's always good to
interesting.
learn more. For sure.
So he'll go back around and he'll finish out his loop of the attractions. The presentation is no different from what you guys experienced the first time you came around. Kind of at the grand reveal is the big temple the uh, big underground structure that Sepka had woken from. Well, structure next to where Sepka had woken from, because the bigger structure was where his brother was placed. And he goes into the story about how Ankesh had betrayed Sepka, put himself in this larger tomb. There are oohs and ahs from the crowd. And there are, some kind of like noises of pity, like, "Oh, that was a terrible thing to happen to him. I can't believe." And then he became such a hero. Stuff that Sepka would absolutely love to hear about himself were here in person. Caravan makes its swing around and begins to make its way back to Wayburn Port, which will take you till about early afternoonish to arrive back into the city. Is there anything you would like to do during this time of transit?
Probably furiously scribbling in her notebook. Okay. Also, no pingbacks on the twin note
No,
as of yet.
no pingbacks on the twin note yet.
Cool.
How long of travel do we have?
That's a couple hours to like 2 hours.
Okay, I'm gonna work on the awakened spellbook ritual.
Okay. How long does that take?
It's not really a thing, it's just a class feature.
Ah, okay. Okay, good deal. So the caravan with Varian takes you back to Wayburn Port and brings you back to the museum. As the cart pulls back up, Varian smiles and he greets everybody as they start to get off. He says, "Thank you very much for joining us on this expedition today. We hope you found it fun and entertaining, and we hope to see you on another excursion soon." And he
Thank you.
kind of welcomes everybody off the cart.
Do you do this tour every day?
There are 3 to 4 tours weekly, depending
Oh.
on the popularity.
Oh, so it's not an everyday thing. It's just whatever that week is set up.
Yeah.
So you don't go every single day into the desert.
Not every day, no.
Oh.
There's not enough of a crowd every day.
When was the last time you did a tour into the desert?
Well, it was about 3 days ago.
That would have been the day before we went, right?
That would have been the day 3 days ago.
No.
Was probably I think that was like the day before the full moon.
Right.
We were up on the mountain for like a week.
Yeah, you were up there
We've been
for a
there
while.
for a week.
Yeah, we were
Right,
there for
that's
a
right.
while.
I'm thinking
We'd
about it
wait
like,
for
wait a minute. We've been there for a bit.
I had downtime. I remember the downtime.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. Timing confused. Oh, okay. It was a lovely tour. You seem to know a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the history of the ancient Kakabeshian culture has always been a bit of a bit of an interest point of ours here.
Yeah.
So, with us being with our town being in such close proximity to the ruins, we thought it's a great opportunity for others to be able to learn more.
Oh, of course. That's definitely. It's always good to take people learning. I had a question for you.
Sure.
Now that the tour's over, and if you have a moment, we had come across some rumors, ancient rumors about an undiscovered or unexplored type of magic. Have you ever come across that in your history out in the desert?
Kind of smirks a little bit. He kind of looks left and looks right, and then he kind of leans into you and he whispers and he says, "Are you talking of the void?"
Yes, I am. You know what that is?
Oh, I've heard others speak about it. I don't know too much of it firsthand myself. Magic, it really isn't too much of a forte of mine, but I have heard the rumors of an ancient and powerful kind of magic that existed a long, long time ago, and strange things happening, especially out in the desert at night when the moon is full and
I cast detect thoughts while he's talking about this. What is he thinking while he's telling me these things?
he thinks he's telling you a spooky ghost story.
Okay. Okay. Jade is still going to keep up the conversation and listen very attentively to his scary ghost story as she then reaches up to touch her ear as she's listening and use her earring of message to cast a message back to Reverie, and she's going to say, "This isn't the same guy."
Great.
And then is going to use a second charge of that to send that same message to Nariko.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's a swear, but that's not out loud, so it's fine. She's just gonna listen to Varian finish his scary ghost story to her, and she's just gonna say, "Oh, that's so interesting."
Yeah, he kind of goes on and he talks about mysterious things that happen in the middle of the night in the desert that no one can quite explain, even with uh, you know regular old magic being a thing and existing. But he says, but sometimes you come across a person or two who claims that they know more, and there are stories of mirrors and doors opening into places beyond that open just for a fraction of a second. You think you see something else on the other side, and in the blink of an eye, it's gone. And leaves you wondering if it was ever really there to begin with.
Do the stories say what was behind the door, like another world, or just something that you thought you saw and it wasn't really there, like a mirage, like if it was like an oasis mirage or something?
He kind of shrugs and he says, could be a mirage. No one can really say for sure.
Have you you come across those stories? Have you come across stories from any particular people on your tour, or is it just things you've picked up?
Just things you pick up. People who are, well, they have a casual interest in the occult and the unexplained.
So you getting stories from other people who got them from other people too.
Yeah, one of those word of mouth
Okay.
things.
This last a minute for detect thoughts. Was anything at all coming up?
No.
Oh no. Who did we get a ride with?
Place your bets in the conspiracy chat.
I was just about to say, like, they're not sure if it's one of the temerities, because Temerity didn't sense anybody out here.
Yeah, but the problem is we got
But we know,
temerity sensing like a week after we were
yeah,
dropped off. So they might
and
have
we know
got
they
like
can definitely teleport. Yeah, and we know they can definitely teleport because that first one did.
Yeah.
They,
Well,
they
they made
had
some
they had a
experiments.
pearl. They could do it.
Yeah. So
Damn it!
there's various options for who we should be mad at right now. Or maybe it's just alternate universe variant got swapped with this one for a hot minute, and
Oh,
that happens every so often, but they just kind of take it in stride.
it's like everything seems a little different on a Tuesday for some reason. I can't figure out why, but it's fine. All right. Jade will politely end that conversation and let Varian go about his day.
He kind of smiles and he goes back into the museum and does whatever other administrative
Just
stuff
whatever
he's got going on.
other museum things he has going on.
He's doing museum stuff. Just
She's gonna turn to the rest of the party. Yeah, she's gonna turn to the rest of the party as he leaves and just go, "That was definitely not the same man that we met the first time."
Nope.
I don't know that mate, but that was definitely not the same man. Or if it was, he has absolutely no memory of any of the things that he talked about with us. And I don't think that's the case.
If it was an impersonation, they nailed him down remarkably well, considering that if we were with the real one just now, their version of the tour was spot on.
Yeah, I was looking for that too. There wasn't really much difference in it, aside from those questions that those ladies asked, which I don't think were pertinent to the actual tour itself.
I feel like based on us still being in one piece, it was possibly more of a surveillance than an actual ambush situation.
What point? I mean, he didn't do anything. He led us right to where we needed to go.
Mm.
If it was even, I mean, maybe it was a good thing. Could someone have been helping us who couldn't be seen to be helping us?
Well,
do
there's a
not know.
possibility. They also may have counted on the defenses around Temerity's sanctum to take care of us regardless.
Maybe. What do you think, Professor? You spent the most time with him while we were traveling.
I don't exactly know. It's a good theory that it's not the same man. But what if it is just a different... I don't know. I really think that we need to gather more data. Let's go see some of the other people we met while we were here last time to see if anybody else has been...
That's a good plan. That's a good plan. Yeah, let's go. We could go see the curator. The lady inside.
Yeah.
There's also the Temple of Thoth.
Right.
We wanted to do
And
some research on.
we can see also if your friend is still around, Professor, maybe they'll have. We can check with them too. They were at Sekhmet, right?
At least she was. But that would be a really good indicator, because if she is still there, at least I have a bit of an understanding of what she's like, so we could really determine if she's the same person or not.
Right. Okay. Should we split up, or should we just all go together to each place?
Well, we're all right here next to the museum, so we can pop in real quick.
Yeah, let's go popping.
Alright, so popping into the museum, it is a balmy afternoon here in Wayburn Port. Once again, I give you the art of the museum as you pass inside. Large open concept, lots of sun kind of shining through. There's a warm but comfortable breeze from the desert that kind of cools down the building quite a bit. Um, Working over some of the displays, you do see our curator, Professor Althea Sandstone, in her white power suit. Seems to be engaged in normal museum business.
Is she with other people, or is she by herself?
She's by herself.
Hello.
So she kind of
Hi.
packs together a stack of papers, and she looks up to see who's addressing her, and she smiles and she says, "Oh, welcome back."
Hi. Oh, so you remember us?
Yes, of course. It's hard to forget somebody who is as intrigued in uh, the art and artifacts of this uh, museum as you all were.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you remember us. We remember you too. We just wanted to stop in and say thank you so much for all the information you gave us. It was very helpful while we were out.
Well, I'm glad it served you well.
And do you remember showing us that mural?
Yes.
There is a hidden place in the mountains.
There is.
That opens up during the full moon. I cast detect thoughts when I say that on her.
Listening intently, you have her full attention. She is. Yes, you have caught her curiosity, and she is waiting to hear you say more.
It looks like it was probably supposed to be, from what we were able to tell, it's supposed to probably have been someone's tomb. It was mostly destroyed though when we found it,
I should think so. It
and
must be thousands of years old.
yeah, we mostly just found the entrance part. It was a door that opened that wasn't there before, and so I just wanted to let you know, since you were really interested in that um that it things like that do exist,
Did you recover
and that
anything from there? Were there any artifacts? What did you see?
there really wasn't anything that we were able to find. Most of the doorways and everything were collapsed with sand and dirt.
Ah, pity.
Um, I did get something though, didn't I? I get-
I,
I mean, of the stuff we found there, I don't think any of them were indicated to have been Kekebesh artifacts. They
yeah,
seemed like they were mostly temerity stuff that she
it,
had in storage.
yeah. It was all like just things that Temerity had, or they were all like things
Yeah.
that she
Um,
animated with sand. There wasn't really any like
yeah.
stuff.
Uh, Narco says, well, there was a chamber with a new mural. If you give me a few minutes, I can have Arby here print out a reproduction.
oh, yeah, yes, please.
Well, Nar- Narco will use her proficiency in calligrapher supplies to equip Arby with a with some pens and inks on a large piece of parchment, and basically have him sort of go printer style, like line by line, sort of jot out part of the that last mural with the big scary eye. Um,
Very dot
that
matrix
was
style.
yep.
Uh,
Um, while that's happening, Narco will also gently inform Althea that said magical uh, full moon opening door is kind of in like the part of the mountains that the Boyoto Monastery kind of keeps a patrol on. So if she's interested in any expeditions further, she should probably check in with them. Plus, also, magical traps and such can be dangerous, so proceed with caution.
oh yes, our excavators are quite versed in the the ways of the old traps of the tombs and everything. But thank you for the warning.
Yep.
But yes, I mean, as soon as we may be able to get some of our curators out there tomorrow. Try to speak to the monks and see if they would allow us passage if it is under their watch. It's
Yep.
great historical significance. That's a fantastic find. How did you manage to get there?
Um, to the monastery or to the entry?
To the entrance. If it's magical, how did you even know of its existence?
Well, we deduced its probable existence from the mural you showed us, which indicated some that the temple picture was likely to be in that general location, and that the full moon played some sort of part. Also, from asking around, it seems like we weren't the first group to have had an inkling of such a thing, but we were the first group to have found it and not run afoul of the defenses. Um, we're the Mystic Mechanicus, as our name implies. We have a bit of a penchant both for magics and deductive reasoning. So just leverage those talents to good use.
That is fantastic. And she kind of gazes up to the wall where that large mural is inside the museum, and she kind of gets lost in thought for a moment, shakes her head, and she says, "There's still so much to learn."
I couldn't agree more, and we're very appreciative of you lending your expertise in this ancient history to help us in finding our own discoveries that in turn may lead you to more discoveries of your own. The positive feedback loop of science. Yay!
Well, should we engage in an expedition up there? Should the monks give us passage? Then perhaps we may put a small dedication to the Mystic Mechanicus for unveiling such a priceless treasure.
Well, that would be lovely. It seems like stories really inspire people around here.
They do. They certainly do.
The monks of the Byodo Monastery would be happy to help you navigate the steep hills and help you find the cave whenever you wish.
Oh,
Jade
wonderful.
is just standing there looking very nervous about this now. Because that was Temerity's hiding place, and she was trying to lie about it being collapsed and ruined. And now we're gonna send people there, and she thinks she's gonna be mad at her.
Well, I mean, I don't think Temerity's going to be using that place anymore because.
Yeah.
Also, not hers to do stuff with, technically speaking.
Technically.
I guess
She
technically it's
literally,
nobody's.
I don't. Was there a mummy in that sarcophagus that she just ditched somewhere so that she could go in there and take Matthew's time?
No, those are ones.
I needed
things
small
she makes.
components.
It's just in a lump in the corner somewhere that we missed.
The sarcophagus are things that Temerity makes, because all of her clones have them.
That was the skeleton and the pile of bones that you found.
Right, just mad.
Did I collect that one?
Angry skeleton.
It was Scully the whole time.
Yes.
Just Sepko staring daggers into Temerity of which of my relatives did you squat in their house?
Well, didn't we learn that this was probably supposed to be Sepka's tomb, but he died before he died.
Oh, that
before he
makes
could
it
have
worse. That makes it so much worse.
It was just a never finished.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was. It was supposed to be Sepka's, but then he got thrown in a crappier one.
Yeah, but then he got dumped into the other one by his brother, and then Kekabesh fell, so no one ever got to use this one. Just old bones just hanging out in corners.
Bones.
Bones.
But RB will produce a photorealistic sketch of the mural and a bit of sort of the surrounding chamber, and we'll leave that as a little thing to pique Althea's interest until she is able to get an expedition together to go see it for realsies.
As you kind of hand it off to her, she unfurls it and she studies it. And she has a bit of a shocked, almost kind of horrified look on her face as she just silently pores it over.
Are you okay? Your face looks not okay. Your face is very beautiful. I didn't mean it that way. I just meant your face is doing a thing that makes it look like you are upset.
She speaks to you, Jade, but her stare is fixed on this printing, and her voice almost makes it sound like she's miles away, and she just kind of says, "This looks like an apocalypse."
Ooh, like a symbolic apocalypse or a historical recounting of what happened in Kekabesh, or
it could be either. This definitely requires more study.
oh, good, good. I would be happy to exchange mailing information. I would love to be kept abreast of your interpretation of the contents.
Yes, of course. This is you've contributed this to our museum, so it would only be right to keep you up on the studies that are done on it. So yes, of course, I would yes, I will write you.
Cool. Narco will swap business cards.
Fantastic. It is done.
All right. Seeing that she is enraptured by discoveries, Anarcho will scoot away with the rest of the group a appreciable distance and then sort of whisper, "Okay, so it was just the guy who didn't remember us."
So far.
That's
Do you think Temerity's going to be mad that I told about her secret space?
Temerity seems like the kind of reclusive wizard who values the secrecy of the space and its utility, and I don't think with the kerfuffle with the cultist she has either in regards to that spot anymore. So,
Oh, good. Okay. Good. I'm not great at lying.
that's okay. Honesty is usually the better policy.
I felt bad. She seemed so excited about her mural, and I just didn't want to. I didn't want to say that she,
That she was wrong.
Yeah. Thanks, strange man who went past me and knew my mind.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, if he gets up to the monastery and the monks can always sort of act as a gatekeeper there to say, no, we don't want anyone further messing with that particular temple. Because even Temerity was kind of using that space with sort of on their lease, as it were.
That's true. Okay, good.
And
Well, she definitely remembered who we were, and everything we talked about too.
yeah, I really do think it's just Varian that's the odd one there, more than likely.
It just makes no sense. I guess a lot of the things that they're doing aren't really making sense to us, though. Well, he didn't try to attack us, and he didn't try to stop us, and he didn't try to. Just gave us information and sent us on our way.
Mm-hmm. I suspect we will probably run into whoever that was sometime again, and we'll see if this was reconnaissance or assistance.
If it was assistance, do you think it might be just someone who wants to help and just can't be seen helping us?
Potentially, but the list of who that could be is in very, very, very small.
True.
I suspect this might be someone who we have yet to sort of meet in person, as it were.
Maybe. Should we still go stop at the other places just to make sure? But Narka, you and I can go to the Temple of Thoth to find, one, to check, and two, to get to see if there's any prophecies. And Professor, did you want to go check on your friend and see if she's still here?
Yeah, sure.
I will join you to go see if Nathala is here, Professor.
Sounds good. I welcome the company.
Great. Gregory, do you want to come with us?
Yeah, we should stick together.
Yeah. Definitely. If David would come with me. Come with me, David.
I'm sorry, Miss Jade. It's hard to keep up on these stubby knot legs I have.
I just kind of float sometimes.
Sometimes he gets stuck prays in the twilight. It's fine. Just stands there.
So are we splitting, or are we all going to one spot? I heard a bunch
Ren's
of
the
yeses.
deciding factor.
I heard a bunch of yeses for going to Sekhmet.
So
But Jade was proposing we just split up and half of us hit Toth and half of us hit Sekhmet. But down with all going to one place at a time.
sure, we're
I would
all
like
on
to
it.
visit.
We'll all go together as a unit to Sekhmet to say hi to Nathala real quick, and then head to Thoth.
Yeah, there you go.
Ren would like to visit Anubis at some point.
Yeah, of
We can
course.
go to Anubis first.
Yeah. Just
That's
right
on the
down
way.
the
Fine going by himself if no one's going to stop him.
No.
We should at least be in pairs, right?
Naraka will
Believe I'm-
follow Ren into Anubis just because she's curious what the hell he's gonna do.
Yeah, I suppose we'll just go together. We'll just go together. It's fine.
Please do not be too loud if that is the case.
I'll stand outside.
Don't worry, Ren, I'm coming. No one will bother you.
That is
I'll
the
keep
exact
Professor
opposite of what
outside
I was
too.
looking for. Thank you.
You're welcome, Professor.
That's me.
Ren wants to go into Anubis and see if he can try to meditate and reach out to Thanatos again to try to get some clarity on what's happening.
You reach out, you get Anubis, and it's just like, that's sorry, wrong number.
Oh.
That's my old number.
Huh.
What's up, dog?
Different god, who dis?
I have weighed your heart. You are drowning in sin. Repent.
I have a heart.
Yeah, where do you think it went when you got rid of it? I got here in a jar.
Isis in the background just goes, he's going through a goth phase still. It's only been a couple thousand years. Fine. Would you like to see my husband? He's a mummy.
So you go ahead and enter the Temple of Anubis again. It's a grand structure, two large Anubis statues that kind of sit guard in the middle of the temple here. There are offerings that are laid all around them. There is incense kind of wafting through the air. It's very peaceful, solemn, almost kind of like a bittersweet, like joyous kind of feel in here. It's very relaxing to you, Ren. It makes you feel very much at home.
Happy Ren.
What is it that you are looking to do once you enter?
Ren wants to try to find a quiet place, burn some incense, and just try to see if he can open up his mind and senses to any communication from the gods beyond.
Do you have like any kind of like commune ability or anything yet at this level?
I don't think so, but let's go look. I got some new stuff.
I don't know if you have like a divine intervention or anything like that yet.
Augury might be on the table, depending on what level spell that is.
Only asking because if you have those available to you, if you wanted to use any of those abilities, you do not have to.
I don't believe I even have those abilities at this level yet. We're still a little on the small side.
Gotcha. Okay, so you find yourself a quiet corner to kind of light some incense and kind of get into a little bit of a meditative state. As you try to reach out to Thanatos, what are you thinking about?
Thinking about our next steps, thinking about the concern with the difference in variant, thinking about the best approach to keep this world from falling apart. Those are the goals. Trying to maintain that balance between life and death without things becoming too bloody.
Okay. Um, why don't you go ahead and give me a religion check with advantage?
We're there. Oh shit! I don't even need the advantage. The gods have spoken.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. And I came here for some bullshit. Okay then.
Very good.
Welcome to 1-800 Dial a God. How may we redirect your call?
So as Ren is being patched into the celestial switchboard, what are the rest of you guys doing?
Jade's keeping the professor entertained outside.
I think Yuki will join Ren inside for some meditation. Not looking to commune with the god, just kind of enjoying the peace and the quiet and the sort of like ambiance of Zen, and just to kind of be there in case something happens and Ren needs help.
Is there anyone following us?
Give me a perception check.
Inspiration.
Damn.
Oh hell yeah!
There you go.
No.
Get it.
You are pretty damn confident, Reverie, that you guys don't have like a tail or anything like that.
Okay. I'm a little less paranoid now.
That's the great thing about paranoia, is that the lack of evidence does nothing. It just means you didn't find the people yet.
In this time. Don't worry, there'll be other times.
Just because you're not paranoid doesn't mean that there's a big, ugly, scary monster trying to eat your face.
Yeah, it's just hiding in the shadows.
It just beat my perception check.
um, so Ren, you're tapping into the celestial mind, as it were. You kind of get yourself ready and centered. You're thinking about your next steps that are coming. You're thinking about Varian that you've met, other weird things that are happening. You feel the pulsing energy of the scythe strapped to you. And you close your eyes and you focus and you meditate. And you sort of like open your eyes. You find yourself in a smoky, like twilight lit landscape. Immediately, when you open your eyes, in front of you, you see the full visage of Thanatos. Standing in front of him is you. And this other version of you approaches and says, "Oh, you are back."
Now we know where Ren gets it from.
Unexpected. Ren will bow towards Thanatos and say, "Thank you for heeding my appeal. I was hoping you could assist me in determining the best course of action from this point as we try to ensure the safety and well-being of the world."
The best course of action is a subjective question depending on what it is you are trying to accomplish.
You're not incorrect. We would want to ensure that this world is safe by stopping the void from crashing the barriers between the worlds. We believe our best objective at this point is to seek out those that pose the greatest risk towards the artifact that would be required to eliminate the barriers. We also have current concerns about an unknown entity that approached us in the guise of someone that would have been familiar, but that seems to have been a ruse.
As you ask your question, the long almost impossibly long hooded arm of Thanatos reaches out and places a hand on your copy's shoulder. And you see he opens his mouth, but it's not words that come out. It is almost like a song of the flapping and the chittering and the screeching of like cicadas and locusts. Very much like the sand mummy opening its mouth and just but instead of that terrible screech, it's bugs. You see that your copy turns back to look at Thanatos and just gives a curt, simple nod. Turns back to you, Ren, and he says, "The best course of action in this case would be to eliminate those that want to get their ultimate goal, the artifacts of power, the so-called imbued items that were left behind by the gods. If those are destroyed, then there is no hope for any reality to survive. And in doing so, and catching these items, you will have to make an impossible choice, but one that will be necessary."
I understand.
Defeating these echoes is certainly one way that you will need to do this, because they will seek to misuse the items that you also seek.
Then we will set our sights on the echoes. Is there any point in worrying about the entity that wore Varian's face?
It is a very likely possibility that you will meet them again,
Understood.
but they will not show it. They will not show themselves until they are ready to show themselves. We believe that they have survived for centuries and know well how to hide.
Is it the Herald?
It is possible.
Then we'll nod again. Thank you for enlightening me and giving me the knowledge and strength to do what must be done.
The copy Ren just kind of stands there and acknowledges you, expressionless, as you have done yourself so many times. The large, tall visage of Thanatos behind him does give you a deep, slow nod. And your senses fill with the incense that's around you, and you find yourself back in the Temple of Anubis.
Ren's eyes are gonna like glow and dim as he's bringing himself back into focus. Okay, that was quite enlightening. I should speak with the others.
That's what a nat 20 gets you.
Climb back up to his feet and go trot off to find everyone.
Got on to the 20. I think Yuki and Narco were inside with Ren.
Yeah, Yuki's in there with you.
It was the rest of us who were outside.
We should find the others. We have much to speak of.
All right. That way you only have to say it once. Let us go.
So we're gonna go outside and find everybody.
Go outside, gather around, take a seat on the bench. Papa
Hi,
Man
Ben.
has a story to tell.
You guys weren't in there for too long. Did you get what you needed?
I was able to make direct contact with Thanatos.
Oh.
He has been quite gracious in providing me with information. that would be extremely helpful.
Jade's face, like, scrunches for just a moment, but she doesn't say anything.
What did he tell you, Ren?
He indeed supports our decision to deal with the echoes, to protect the artifacts, to ensure that the barriers between worlds will not be broken. That is essential. He also indicated that the entity we encountered in the sands before may have been the Herald, but it is uncertain. However, he does believe that we will encounter that creature again.
Did he say if the person was friendly or not? Or does he not know?
If we are to encounter the creature again, it may be the Herald. I would assume it is not friendly.
Well, Thanatos doesn't know if it's actually the Herald or not.
He does not know for certain. Or at least he wasn't able to tell me at this time.
Okay.
So was Thanatos recommending that we alter our plan to go after the echoes instead?
Well, I thought that's what we were doing.
No, we were going to Elgrath.
But there's an echo there. In the caves.
Right.
The intention is to protect the artifacts, remove them from the echoes, so they cannot be wielded against the realms and the worlds.
Okay.
So it's a race.
Well, if we get that, but if we can destroy all the echoes, and if we can get that teleportation circle away from them, then they have no way of getting to the other artifacts.
Seems quite logical.
Because if they can't get their hands on the, she's gonna lower her voice, on the clavis, then they can't travel between the worlds. And if we can keep the one artifact that's on this within our reach out of their hands, then they can't get to those either.
Okay.
Am I being too simple about it?
I do not believe so.
So the best information we have is that the piece of the gateway to the marble would be on hand at their stronghold in Elgrath. So going there hurts their organization directly, and also can possibly keep at least one of those out of their reach for the moment. We would just need to pivot and kind of immediately go after the echoes to avoid them getting too close to their means of transferring across the veil, as Jade was saying.
Right. Because if they can get into the astral plane, if they can't get there directly, then they can still search it and try to find the marble. Especially if it's an actual marble. That's going to be super tiny.
Were there any other bits of guidance that he offered, Ren?
Yes, although I imagine you will not enjoy this one. He said that difficult decisions and sacrifices must be made to ensure the safety of the worlds.
Oh. Well, that's normal, though.
Mm-hmm. Understand that one on an intellectual level, yeah.
Did he say what type of sacrifices? We're not going to actually have to sacrifice something or someone, right? That means, like, spiritually.
I'm quite concerned someone will have to die to ensure this will not become a problem. Fortunately, I've already died once. It doesn't seem that bad.
I would not agree with that statement.
Let us not have that be an option.
Sometimes sacrifice means a lot of different things, and a lot of times it does mean death, but sometimes it just means an end of other things, or giving something up that's important because something else is more important. So maybe it won't be anything like that, and if it is something like that, maybe we can do our very best to make sure that doesn't have to happen. Professor, your face is doing that thing again.
That's a lovely sentiment, Jade. But if a god of death is warning that significant sacrifices and decisions have to be made, chances are it's not going to be something that we can simply
yes, but
decides like walk away from easily.
Well, I'm not saying walk away from, and I'm not saying we wouldn't make the sacrifices if it's needed of us, but keep in mind, you're talking to a god of death. Sometimes when you talk to a god of a thing, they see everything in the landscape of that thing. So, if maybe he's seeing it that way because that's the easiest way for him to see the outcome, but that doesn't necessarily mean that if we don't maybe we'll make the right choices and we'll be quicker than our enemies, and we won't have to worry about it. Maybe we will, but we can try.
If you wish to leave that, Jade, I will not stop you.
Well, I'm going to. I will believe it for all of us.
Well, that was pretty much exactly as cheery as I thought a talk with the God of Death would be.
At least it didn't turn
Anything
into a bunch
else?
of like bugs or something.
Anything, any personal notes? Did he say he was proud of you? That you did a good job?
Did Senpai
Jade
notice
just
me?
stares expectantly.
I am doing my duty as is commanded.
Yeah, that tracks.
RP, I'm not going to. Everyone has their own management style, and that's okay. Well, good. Glad we got that consultation.
At least I know they're on the right track.
Shall we move on to say hello to Nathala?
Yeah, if she's still here, I think it's a good idea. Professor, make your face stop doing that thing when you meet your friend.
What thing?
You're doing this, and she's gonna make her face like do a scrunchy like scowl thing.
Yuki
what
will
your
join
face is doing.
Jade. She'll join Jade in making Yuki scowl faces or making scrunchy faces.
Seems unfair. I think that is just
scowling.
You're doing it a little bit.
I was doing that because Ren was told by a god of death that we're going to have to make significant sacrifice, and that just rings a lot of bells for me because as someone who dealt a lot with death himself, that's the sort of thing that people tell people who are going to die. Just
Don't
say,
worry, Professor.
Have we
No
lost?
death god would take you.
Everyone dies eventually, at least once.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean we have to die. And maybe, you know what? Maybe there will be a chicken that we have to eat, and that will be a sacrifice.
Yes. Yes.
Or maybe we'll have to give up something important to us in order to make sure that things have to happen the way they need to happen.
Yuki's gonna look at Professor and say, maybe you'll have to give up bacon for breakfast one day.
I can give up bacon for breakfast. All I'm saying is that this is a lovely sentiment, but we need to be mentally, emotionally, and physically prepared for everything. And this is the sort of thing we need to be prepared for because we may not all come back out of this. And it's really morbid. I get it. And of course, we're going to aim for everyone to live happily ever after, but this is the sort of thing we need to be able to at least accept if and when the time comes. But he just holds up his hand and it stops like, not really something we necessarily have to talk about right now. And I do like your positivity, Jade, and I would very much like to go down your road than mine.
Well, good, then I will make sure that I lead you the right direction.
Pave the way.
Oh, no, go on.
I didn't hear what either of you said.
You have nice hair.
I said, pave the way, Jade Staffer. I don't. Is Jade short for something? I just picture that Jade's short for Jadestifer.
No, it's just Jade.
Oh, okay. I like Jadestifer. Anyway,
I personally have
You
some.
can call me that.
He's not doing this. He just sort of
Definitely,
does
it
the
definitely
thing
was.
where he looks like he's wiping his face, and he just wipes the expressions off of his face. See, I'm fine. Let's go.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sure all will be well.
We can try to make it as good as we can.
Mm.
Statement. This unit is prepared to sacrifice itself into permanent non-functionality to ensure the safety of all constituent members of the Mystic Mechanicus.
Oh, well,
Please sign
Arby,
this-
you are part of the members of the Mystic Mechanicus, so no.
Agreement. That statement is accurate.
Thank you.
Addendum. Please
Go ahead.
assign this unit priority status for all sacrifice-related duties.
Yuki will
No.
walk past Arby as he's talking about sacrificing and just kind of pat his metal chest and say, "We will find another way, Arby." She will follow the professor, walking over to the Temple of Sekhmet.
Everyone is way too eager to just believe that they need to kill themselves or let themselves die.
Think of it as a compliment. We would rather fall to spare our allies.
Or maybe just nobody falls.
It's a nice thought.
So
It's a
we are-
good one.
So we head off to Sekhmet. As you enter this temple, it is eerily quiet, save for the sound of a bunch of groaning. And as you enter, you see the sparring pit in front of you, in front of the altar, is just kind of littered with about half a dozen combatants that are in various states of like getting their ass whooped. Kind of over to the side, you do see that Nathala is still here. Appears to be packing her bag.
Professor will call out and said, Nathala, you know, it's polite to save some for the rest of us.
Nathala kind of packs something away, and she turns around, and gives you a nod, Professor, and she says, I apologize. If I had known that you had challenged any one of them, I would have left some for you.
He just kind of smirks and leads his posse over to her. Says, are you leaving already?
Yes, I feel I have learned as much as I can from this place. It was quite enlightening, but I crave a change of scenery.
It is very brown hair. Where will you go next?
I am not sure. I figured that I would travel on this continent a little bit more. There is a ferry that takes you down to a town called Moonhaven. That sounded interesting.
Ah, yes, Moonhaven. It's lovely there this time of year. You know, while you're here, before you leave this continent, you should go further south. There's a compound whose word, the name for it just completely escapes my brain right now. But I'm sure you find lots of people who might be willing to put up a fight, do a little bit of sparring. And in fact, you might even see, I don't know for sure, but you might even see an old friend who once stood their ground with you in a spar back in the day.
She kind of blinks a bit. Rolls a good check, and she says, good friend who stood in a spar with me. There's only one name that comes to mind, Sentinel Loris.
Lots of sentinels down there.
It is a sentinel compound.
He nods.
I have not been to one of those in some time.
Well, check it out. Hey, maybe you're the type of person that they want to slap a cloak on. Maybe you can do some of your... He kind of does this weird sort of robot dance, like dance fighting on their behalf.
I already have a deity that I worship that is real. I do not have any desire to worship a fake one.
Oh, the shade! Oof!
He laughs. Like, never change.
I do sometimes have to change my clothes when they become bloodstained.
The more bloodstain they get, the more red they get, kind of matches your skin. You could just own it and go on.
But it is important to maintain the integrity of your equipment.
Ah, yes. Cleanliness is godliness and all that. Listen. There's... I don't really want to get too deep into it, but keep an eye while you're out there. Things don't seem to be as they seem these days. So keep your wits about you, all right?
What do you mean? What should I be looking for?
He just shakes his head and just says, keep your trust close. Don't be quick to trust people you're just meeting. I know that's not really something that you typically have to worry about, but just take care of yourself out there.
See your eyes kind of slide to the side a bit, like in that kind of way where you're like processing new information, and then she looks back at you, Professor, and gives you a nod and says, "I will. Thank you."
He nods and kind of steps aside to let the rest of his companions say hello or ask questions or what have you.
Oh, there was also this monastery up in the mountains, not too far from here. They have martial arts that they do too. If you're looking to expand with other styles of combat and philosophy.
She kind of looks over to Yuki and she says, "Are they more of your kind?"
Just getting ready for the sass. Yuki will nod and she'll say, "Yes, they are tabaxi, and yes, they would be more than happy to spar with you and teach you the ways of our martial arts."
That also sounds interesting to me. You were a worthy challenge.
Yuki will smile. She'll say, "As were you, Nathala Stalwart Hammer."
Thank you.
Ethel, I have a question.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, you said that you are a cleric, you worship a god.
Yes.
Is that god helpful?
Yes.
Okay, if your god said that there were going to be sacrifices that might be demanded of you or your companions at one point in time, would you just go, okay, well, someone's going to die, and just accept that? Or would you do your very best to make sure that no one died unless you do everything you could to make sure that didn't happen?
The best case scenario would be that no one would have to die or sacrifice themselves, but if that's what it means to accomplish the goal, then then the sacrifice is made knowing that the task will have been completed.
Right, but you don't know if that's actually the goal yet or not, or if it's even required. It just is a might be thing. So if it's just a might be thing, you would just do your best to make sure that it didn't happen to the best of your abilities, right?
Yes.
She's just gonna look at everyone else and stick out her tongue and just goes, oh, see? There. She says it too.
That's the same thing we were saying.
So Professor Enren just said that they are very likely that we're gonna have to someone's gonna have to die and that we should just accept it. And I said no.
We never said we're just going to let someone die. We're just saying that we have to be mentally prepared in case someone does.
I disagree. And so does Nathola. And she's very strong and very smart and has done lots of things on her own, so she knows. So there.
He rolls his eyes. Like, Nathala is very well prepared for when one of her comrades dies.
Yes, I have the
Okay.
Vivify prepared at all times.
And she just goes and she points at Nathala again. Just say. It's okay. You're allowed to know that I was right in my assessment.
Professor just nods and holds his hands up, just like, all right, you win this one. And
No, good. Okay.
mentally
Good.
prepares
Talk
for
about
himself to pick up so many pieces if someone does actually die.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. Jade doesn't know that though, and she just smiles. Very happily that she won this argument. Good. Great. See? Now I don't have to worry about anyone dying. We're all going to do our very best. And I will also ask Papa about Brazil.
I want to know what that looks like when Moloch, the archdevil, intercedes to snatch up someone's soul from the line in limbo before they get taken to the afterlife.
It's definitely like in football where it's just like, nope, that's me. I got that. And just grabs your soul and runs away.
Tucks it under his arm like a football and just sprints.
just fucking yoink.
You're on the way. You're on the way. There's this big, wonderful, brilliant light ahead of you, and all of a sudden you're just tackled off to the side. And Small just picks you up and just goes, "Nope, not yet." And just keeps on trucking.
Flipping the bird to Kellenborg behind him as he runs.
My daughter said no. Just keeps on going.
I cannot deal with her crying over you. We're going.
Nope, this is something I can do. I steal souls all the time. This works well for me and my aesthetic. Let's go. Don't cry. It's fine. You'll die soon enough. Let's go.
All right. Bird God time.
Bird god time.
Yes, bird god.
So as you begin to file out, Nathala will approach the Professor, and she'll say, I have enjoyed running into you again. It has been a long time.
Likewise, Nathala. Don't run into a lot of old friends here.
It is a very far distance from where we first met, so that is not surprising.
He nods and just says, if you ever want to chat or you have any questions or just problems, I'm only ascending away.
She nods. And she says, so where do you go next?
Sounds like we are headed to Averil. Perhaps Elgroff? He kind of looks back at the rest of the crew.
Just gives a thumbs up to the professor.
Seems our business is taking us there to sort out some nasty types.
find it strange that you once told me that you could never see yourself becoming an adventurer, yet here you are.
Well, sometimes you go on one path and you come across a fork in the road. You see on one side the road you want to take, and the other side the road you want nothing to do with. You go down the road that you want to take and find that the bridge is out, and you're forced down the other side. That probably won't mean much to you. I didn't choose to do this. This sort of chose me.
Yes, things happen like that sometimes. And for the briefest of moments, Professor, you swear you see the slightest crack of a smile.
Spotting that, he just smirks himself and he says, well, in case we don't meet again, maybe before you leave, try the ranch dressing. Change your breakfast forever.
Is this another biscuit with butter situation?
This is way better than butter.
Oh, so it is more decadent and... No, I will hold my tongue.
Think of it this
Willa
way.
hears you wherever you're at. She hears you talking bad stuff about butter. She hears you.
Ranch dressing is going to change your life. And I need you to promise me something, Nathala. This is a matter of life and death. He leans in nice and close. He says, do not, under any circumstances, tell Willa Ray I said that.
Very well, you have my word.
That's very smart.
I have been trying to expand my horizons, so perhaps I will try this ranch dressing that you speak of. Do you eat it
Good.
on its own?
You can. I would recommend you don't. Maybe dip some carrot sticks in it or something to start out. Really just sort of ease into it. Ranch dressing's not just a dressing, it's a way of life. And you don't just jump head first into a new way of life.
That is a very bold statement.
It's a very bold flavor.
Thank you, Professor. I will keep that in mind. Please take care on your journeys.
Likewise.
She gives you a nod, and she says goodbye. And she turns and continues packing her pack.
As she turns away, he just says, oh, and Nathala,
Yes,
Tempest thanks you.
and I thank Tempest.
And he'll turn back to his people.
She seems really nice. And very
She's-
smart.
As long as you don't mess with the breakfast.
Why would you mess with her breakfast?
Because some things are more delicious than water oats.
What are water oats?
Oats and water mixed together and mushy.
That
It's not
does
good?
not sound good at all.
Obviously, you need milk and cinnamon and sugar.
And ranch.
Oh,
No.
I don't think you need that on everything, do you?
You can. You absolutely can.
Just because you can do something does not mean that you should.
In this case, you should.
No.
I'm okay.
Well, speaking of ranch dressing, where should we go next? Should we find more people to confer with, or should we?
Well, Noriko and I wanted to go to Toth to see
Right.
if they had any scrolls about prophecies. Just before we leave, and then after that, I think we're good to just go back to the ship, right?
Indeed.
There's
Okay.
there's a few things I'm going to need to stop by the market for before we turn in for the day, but otherwise that sounds like a plan.
Oh yeah, of course, we can go do that.
So you headed off to the Temple of Toth. Again, it's a place of learning. As you step inside this temple, again, there are walls and racks of different writings and scrolls. You see some of the attendants are organizing things away, and you again see this um, tall, slender woman. She's draped in a long black dress. She's wearing a kind of headdress that is fashioned like a bird with feathers. And you remember her as her name, High Scribe Octavia Quillscribe.
Hi, Octavia.
She kind of slides one of the scrolls back and turns to see you all entering, and she says, "Hello, welcome back."
Oh, good, you remember us. Thank you. Do you have prophecies here?
There's a bit of a twitch in her lips, and she kind of tilts her head a little bit, and she says, "There are some here, yes."
Oh, she's gonna look at Noriko.
Prophecies being what they are, I don't suppose there's an easy way to narrow down one that you're looking for if you haven't heard the details of it already.
We've heard the details of many, most of them about the end of the world.
Oh, we're already good on that one. Probably.
Yeah.
So more of a. I mean, if it's a prophecy about the end of the world, we're kind of already well on that track. This one might be a different prophecy, maybe smaller scale.
Do you have any prophecies that involve the Goldwaters that you are aware of?
She kind of frowns a bit, and she says, "Typically the prophecies that we come across do not involve any still living members of a family. So there are none that come to mind."
Well, that's good.
Hmm.
There's nothing about the end of the world with Marcus.
Well, what about prophecies that are, at least from academics look over, seem relevant to things that would be occurring in Tremonto or even just Averil in general?
There are two that come to mind. Follow me. And she'll lead you off to kind of a sectioned away part with some kind of it's not well uh, not well visited, we'll say. Again, kind of like looking at like the occult section in a bookstore, like that kind of feel to it.
This place should be hella traveled. You kidding?
Usually, the occult section of a bookstore is right at the front near the registers because that is easily the area that's most shoplifted.
That is, yeah.
That's pretty rude of us. What's the deal?
I guess in a world where magic is real and exists, it's just like, yeah, what? Am I gonna go there to read about current affairs? Get out of here.
Give me a moment because I had stuff written. I didn't know how much I was going to need, so I did not put it into Roll20, but I'll put this stuff into Roll20 now. So she kind of leads you over to the section, and you see she's going to start kind of thumbing through different scrolls. So um, While I get some stuff loaded for you, please talk amongst yourselves.
Reverie?
Yes.
I plan to stop by the market. I have some things to exchange for coin, and then I was planning on outfitting the Corvus with a little bit more in the way of armaments before we leave, in case we run afoul of more enemies at sea. I believe you had mentioned at one point wanting to use some of our funds to acquire scrolls.
Uh, yeah, if we can, just maybe some spells that I don't have access to yet.
Well, if you could put together a list, um, while we're in the market, we can see if any of them are available, and then figure out what we might be able to budget for.
Sure.
Excellent.
What kind of prophecies do you think? I mean, okay, as someone who is a little bit, who's read up a little bit more on it, prophecies about the end of the world happen all the time. How many do you think they have here?
I'm sure Miss Octavia can give you a tally. Um,
I wonder if they keep track of all the times that there's a prophecy, or just the ones that seem most likely. Because that would be interesting if they had to keep track of all of them. Because then how do you find them all?
so I understand that there probably are a lot of prophecies about the end of the world floating around, because it's the sort of thing that a lot of people would want, divination about.
Mm-hmm.
It's a point of interest for everything that exists, more or less. But knowing the typical wizard, I feel like shouldn't there also be like a lot of prophecies about like individual people's love lives? That seems like that'd be also the question that gets asked a lot.
There's typically not a prophecy though. I mean, sometimes it is, but it's more of like a soothsaying, where they're going to look like you'll go to a specific person who can like potentially see into the future, and then they can give you an idea. But most of the time, a prophecy is usually going to be something really, really important, like, oh, this will cause, the rise of a kingdom or the destruction of one. At least all the ones that I've read about so far. And a lot you said, a lot of them are about the end of the world. I kid you not, every single god has an end of the world prophecy, and some of them have 4. I guess they think they just keep redoing it in case they might get some more people interested.
I guess I'm not as aware of the sort of categorization. For something to be a prophecy, does it have to have been like handed down from a god?
No, it doesn't have to be handed down from a god, but those are the ones that are usually the big ones.
Well, are there any small prophecies? Like,
I think again, ones I'm aware of, usually the small prophecies have to deal with like the coming of something, or the like there is a great evil that is going to come that will be defeated by the heroes of legend. Sometimes the prophecies are not about the end of the world, it's just about people rising up to fight or meet a great disaster. And it's usually the prophecy is usually about the people who are meant to be the chosen ones to do such a thing, or for whatever reason or another, either they're chosen by gods, or they were born under a star sign, or the planets aligned, the magic was right, and because of that, they were in the right place at the right time to be the person that was going to be needed. Which is why you see a lot of people try to stop them before they can actually get to where they need to be. But a lot of the prophecies that I've come across are usually about that. Like, there's going to be heroes or villains rising up against one another. And it might be a smaller scale thing. It's not the world, but it's like, it pertains to parts of the world. Like, there was a prophecy I remember Papa telling me once at bedtime that about some people called the Nameless, and they were, these great destructors that rise up through time, but are defeated. They can't actually be killed, but they can be defeated and be sent back away during different ages of time, because the people who were needed at the time were chosen and were able to meet each other and get together and fight them to do that. And if those people had not been there, then the Nameless would have overrun the continent and eventually the world. But it was more of a prophecy of the continent, because that apparently a war broke out after that happened. It's the risings of kingdoms and the falling of a civilization. I'm sure Kekabesh had lots of prophecies about them because they were closer to the gods, so there was probably a lot more. But the things like little ones like Love Lives, I don't not seen those ones particularly.
As you say, the rising of kingdoms. Octavia turned around, and she's.
Did you forget her own name?
I did forget her name. She turns around and she says, well, speaking of kingdoms, there is a prophecy here that does mention a king. We do have our theories of who it might be referring to. Well, not a king per se, but a ruler.
Oh?
Yes, and that could either be referring to King Donamar in Averil, or the queen of Talam Tarim. Her name is Tazava. And she will hand this prophecy over to you. This scroll.
God, I love that!
Of course.
Slightly changed.
Of course! You the poet who guides a might horde or
God
a mighty horde?
Mighty. God damn it.
A mighty horde.
His gold is not great as was.
There.
Oh.
There is one other one too, although we haven't quite been able to place it, so the jury's kind of still out, but this one is called The Harbinger and the Ferryman.
Oh, at that, Jade perks up and looks at the professor and Ren. Very blatantly looks immediately at them.
Oh, goody.
And thus we have the theme song to the Professor Red Buddy Cop Show.
Yes.
In the twilight of ages, when shadows converge, the harbinger shall rise his fate to purge. Born in death's embrace, a cleric of night, he walks the path of shadows, veiled in moonlight.
Oh yes, we need to go to karaoke and only have Neville sing.
Amazing. Oh my goodness.
Alright, well, Naruko takes like a quick read over this, just smiles, just wordlessly, doesn't even look, just hands it over to Professor in Red. Just like, here you go.
Oh, it's like they were foretold to be together.
Less of a prophecy and more of a theme song.
Could you sing it?
Also, Professor, you're pretty tall, but I wouldn't call you grim exactly.
I don't feel like I'm grim either. Even if my face does this, and he scrunches it up. So it's clearly not about me.
Yes. It says you're going to the realm of shadows.
I've been to the Shadow Realm before. It is not a place you want to be, unless you're really good at duel monsters.
What?
He shrugs and just hands.
Why would you make monsters fight?
He hands the prophecy paper over to the next person. Like, I don't know. I just had it somewhere.
Oh wait, isn't that card game? I think some of the wizards at Moonhaven played it. You use it as conjuration practice because you use a low level spell and you kind of summon a little monster facsimile on the table. It's real fun and it helps you practice. Wait, why does that have to do with the Shadow Realm?
Hey, wait a minute.
Wait a second.
Wait, I understood it, but I stopped understanding again. What?
Okay, what does it say again?
I think it's in handouts.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Port.
Yeah, so it's in handouts under Wayburn Port.
All right, thank you. I got lost.
Oh.
Man, this list is long, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a little bit. There we go.
Shit.
Found it. Okay.
Sorry.
That's why you can collect.
No, sorry, it's good.
Well, I suppose if he looks back at the Soldier Poet King one, it's like, soldier with a mighty sword. I don't know about that. Poet. I mean, I think Marcus has a love for theater. He might do poetry. Might be a ruler if the Goldwaters have a great deal of gold. But knowing his family, they might be thinking more of the political angle. So it's something to go off of, but not really actionable.
Oh, is this the one that they thought, Octavia, is this the one that they thought might have to do with either the king or queen in Averil?
Well, those are the only cities known to have some kind of ruler that would have access to a mighty hoard of treasure.
But this also says gold is not his greatest worth.
Well, prophecies are not exactly cut and dry and clear.
That's true.
So that's really anyone's guess, and it may not be even referring to a literal ruler. Just someone who's in charge of anything, I guess.
I feel like if we brought this to Sepka and asked for his divine guidance, he would say that he's all three.
Probably. Well, then that might mean it's already a prophecy that's already happened because he did tear a city down and then he found out that his treasure was more than just gold. And now he has a bakery.
It's really the cupcakes.
I mean, it's also,
but mostly bakery.
There's this one where it's like, he will slay you with his tongue. Like, you, the reader. I mean, prophecies tend to be big and grand, so it would almost be like you would be the collective you of the world. So it kind of is just saying. It's kind of saying these three.
Was more like the bad guy.
Yeah. Like these three people will exist, or it might all be like three in one person. But it's just saying like they'll be a thing. It doesn't even say like what they'll do. So I don't know.
Prophecies.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like that. This other one is much more.
I mean, this one's pretty cool. Yeah. It kind of says what's going to happen to the Harbinger and the Ferryman.
Seems to be more of a prophecy of the Harbinger and the Ferryman coming together.
Yeah. Oh, new theory. This particular prophecy, we are like 99% sure this we know about this.
Yeah.
which leads me to believe that the prophecies also come into the hands of those who will be affected by it. So that leads me to believe that the other one will probably also be relevant to us at some point.
Is it okay if I copy this down, Octavia?
Sure, yes.
Okay. I will copy this one, and that way we just can keep, we can keep it in our pockets if we're going to Averil. So.
Oh, Octavia, do you have a citation of like the source of each of these prophecies, like where they who it was originally revealed to, what time it was, etc.?
I'm afraid I don't. These things just sometimes appear on our shelves, and no one can really pinpoint where they come from.
Oh, I bet it was a bard.
That would frustrate me a lot. She just kind of looks up to the ceiling and is like, thanks, Toth.
I mean, at least he's doing something.
Octavia looks at you, Jade, as you mentioned the bard, and she says, well, some theorize that that's who the poet is that's mentioned in the Soldier Poet King one.
The bard?
Like I said, it's a theory.
Do you have a prophecy about the bard that's not this one?
Hard to find anything written about the bard. You only find stuff that the bard has written.
That is frustratingly true as well. I do like his stories, though. Or her story. Their stories. Them's stories.
Them's.
Them's.
Okay. Should we add the bard to the list of suspects for our Mirage friend? Would that be a thing they do?
I've only ever gotten stories they've written. I honestly don't know.
I mean, from reading their account of stuff happening in Kekebesh, it seems like they like to just sort of sidle up near major events to get sort of a closer scoop and maybe meddle.
That is possible, and if they've been around since that time, then what Ren found out from Thanatos was also correct, that they are good at hiding. I'll put it on the list. I have this list. Show the list of the suspects, which is Temerity Clone, Harbinger, and now the Bard. It's just those three.
Oh.
And then there's also question mark friend, question mark again.
Good list. Alrighty.
Okay. Are these all the scrolls you have, Octavia?
Yes, all the ones that have appeared here are on the shelf. But these are the ones that are probably pertinent to what you were asking about.
Did we want to look up the ones about the end of the world just to see?
Maybe out of just more of a curiosity, what is the grand total of world-ending prophecies you have on stock at the moment?
Oh, there's probably about a dozen of them.
Oh, that's not so bad. Do any of them ever disappear?
Not to my knowledge.
What if it doesn't happen, though? Do you just keep it as a record?
What if it does happen?
Doesn't happen. Papa hears about them all the time, so...
Oh, what if the prophecies don't happen?
Yeah. What if the prophecies don't happen?
Well, sure. We keep them... Yes, we keep them on record, but... some say that on a long enough timeline, it's possible for any prophecy to come true.
That is true. Okay. Well, there's only a dozen. Do you want to look through them and see if any of them are anything about what we're doing?
Sure, we can do a quick scan.
Just do a quick scroll through.
So you find prophecies that are called things like the prophecy of the breaking, the prophecy of the unbreaking, the prophecy of the inevitable heat death of the galaxy,
Oh
the
boy, ooh, that was
the
that one's aiming for fuck you. I'm gonna be right.
Yeah, right.
basically.
I'm
That
playing
one's
the long
like,
game.
I have science.
This guy's never heard of Price is Right rules. He's gonna overshoot for the moon.
The prophecy of lemon meringue, and just a bunch of other. I don't actually have
Oh, I'd like that last one, please.
the prophecies. Basically, idea that the center of the world is made of lemon meringue, and that one day the volcanoes will erupt and cover the ground in sticky, gooey deliciousness.
I'll be honest. If that one has not been definitively disproved by now, I am very concerned for what evidence they have found that there is even the possibility of that happening.
The bottom is just signed Loki.
Oh yeah, Ragnarok's got to be in there at some point, right?
Oh, yeah.
Swallows the sun.
Ragnarok's certainly in there. Yep. Yeah.
The distant future of 2012.
Something about a Mayan calendar.
Who's Maya?
I've not heard of that god.
They're entertaining reads, to be sure. But some seem a little more far fetched than others.
Well, this one's referring to the two moons, and we only have the one as far as I know, so not relevant yet.
This one talks about a turtle. Which seems nice, honestly. No, I didn't find anything that seems to be anything of what we were doing right now. Did you?
Yeah, no, this is the last one, and this just says something about scheduling difficulties. But apparently, it's going to end the world. So.
Oh, that's terrible.
And all will be shunted into stasis, and nothing shall progress, and all shall die a death of the creative.
Oh, I like one about the turtle much better.
Yeah, I like your turtle one. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Okay. Thank you, Octavia. Goodbye.
Kind of gives you a nod, waves, sees you off.
To hug her.
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Hugs back.
Librarian's the best.
Nerd party loves the library.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And off we go.
So you're heading out late afternoon, early evening as you leave the Temple of Thoth. The evening is yours.
Well, Narco's plan is to head to the market to do some shopping before they close up for the evening. Anyone want to come with?
Yes, I will go.
I would like to come.
Sure. Numbers.
All right.
Coming.
Off to the market. Fully open air market. Lots of vendors around. Anything particular we're looking for?
Well, the first thing is I have various miscellaneous weapons and armor that we collected from our previous dungeon dive. Mm-hmm. Would I be able to just sell those off for gold value?
You could pawn those off.
Okay. Let me take a quick tally here. We've got a couple things of splint mail, short swords, a glaive, mother dunk. Just a little bit more spending money. So, Narco will also posit to the group that of magical stuff that she's got on hand. She still has this ring of the orator that she has yet to find a use for. Do we want to exchange that in for gold as well?
What does that one do?
Does this. Let's you speak aloud real good so everyone can hear you.
I think we can just trade that in for gold.
Agreed.
Sounds good to me.
It's the kind of thing that I could think of finding a creative use for maybe once during the game, but not in such a way that probably couldn't be replicated through some other means.
Yeah, I think we're good to. I think we're good to hand that off.
I will invent a megaphone at some point in the future. Joe, would there be a trader who would like to pick up this nice ring?
The ring of the orator.
There's just a guy who just collects things. Hey, what's up?
His name's Doug. He just hangs out at the market.
Yeah, I'll trade you something. Come with me down this alleyway.
What do you got?
Opens his coat. It's just full of kittens. Just like, you thought this was gonna be sketchy, but it's wholesome.
What you buying, stranger?
I've got a tabby cat with your name on it.
Yeah. So walking around the market area, you do find a trader that kind of they have goods that are just kind of interchanged from all over different reaches of the world. They do seem to have odds and ends. If you present this ring to them, they will take interest in it. And they will offer, if you were offering it for sale, they will offer you 250 gold pieces for it.
250. I take it from the way that was phrased that if it was to be offered in trade for some of their merchandise, it might be at a better exchange rate than that.
In a trade, like you can trade it for something that of equal value, or they would put that value towards something that you were looking for.
Okay. Do they have anything like that? Like possibly the spell scrolls that we are searching for as well?
Give me a high or low.
Hi.
Yes, spell scrolls in stock.
Lovely. The scrolls that Reverie is looking for are either of the second or third level. What is the going rate for scrolls of each of those power levels?
Second level spell scroll. They are 120 gold pieces each. Third level is 200 each.
Do they have any of those spells on offer, or only select ones?
Let's see. They have enlarge, reduce, hold person, knock, and haste.
So no clairvoyance, no sending, slow, or tiny hut.
Correct.
Cool. So if we got all four of those scrolls, that would come out to a cool 560 gold, which we could knock off 250 from the ring of the orator. Naruto would like to haggle to see if the merchant would be willing to trade those scrolls for the ring and 250 gold, which would be a savings of about 60, with Nariko pointing out the excellent use for a merchant looking to attract business to their location to have a ring that would allow them to project their voice so very clearly for sales pitches
Ooh, yeah.
throughout the entire place.
Give me a persuasion check.
With advantage?
If someone is helping you out, yeah, I'll say sure.
I'll help.
All right.
Cool.
Someone's like being your hype man.
Jade just up there going, yeah, you can talk really loud and we can hear you all the way across the street.
Double guidance.
That's good, right?
I don't think you can add guidance twice, unfortunately.
You can do whatever you put your mind to.
Just believe it. Believe in yourself.
Although, look forward to next level when Naruto gets Flash of Genius.
Oh
So
my
I can just
God.
add a 5 onto my rolls, because fuck you.
Cries at DM. Yeah, your argument is persuasive. They see the value in this item that you are trading to them, and they will agree to the discount.
Very good. I have removed the ring from my inventory. I have taken out 250 gold. And Reverie can add the scrolls for Enlarge, Reduce, Knock, Hold Person, and Haste into her inventory.
Thank you. You sure you're okay with all of those?
The amount of gold that I have just spent comes out to that was literally like 9% of our total budget.
Okay.
So
Enlarge, Reduce, Knock, Clairvoyance, and Haste.
correct. Naruto's really excited for haste, because then I can shoot someone 3 times in a round.
Oh, yeah.
What have I done?
I don't know because it only takes minutes to copy into my spellbook.
Nice.
Bad DM sounds.
No, it's great. It's great.
The fun fact, if Naruto hits all 3 of those and she has Sharpshooter, the minimum damage she will deal to you is 51.
Jesus.
I love you. I'm so glad that we're going on this fun adventure, Joe. Thank you.
We'll have a good time. We'll have a good time.
Yep. So, is there before Naruto finds things that she will spend this money on? Does anyone else have stuff that they wanted to maybe take a look at or pick up while they were here at the market?
Jade is good. She has gotten so tricked out by her amazing science girlfriend that don't think there's much more that I need right now.
I would look for and price out things that would empower spells.
Okay.
Some more magic items then.
Yes.
Is there anything in particular that you are looking for? Anything you have in mind?
Oh, I'm sure I created a list here somewhere. Hold on. What empowers sorcerer's spells? Well, for some reason, I've written Wand of the War Mage on here twice, so I must really want that. Although last time we priced that out, it was very expensive, but he'd be willing to look at that again.
Yeah, they are pretty expensive. Let's see.
There's also Bloodwell Vial.
The War Mage. What else was there?
Bloodwell Vial.
Bloodwell Vial. I have not heard of this.
Allow me.
We
It's
made that
the
early in our other campaign.
yep. It's the cool +1 to attacks and DCs, but for sorcerers.
E-
And yes, Yuki has made good use of it.
Nice.
Oh, that's wild. It's just a vial. It's just a thing that you have.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Huh. How interesting. What the fuck is this shit? Okay.
I love the thinking steppy noise.
How is this going to fuck me in the future?
You
I mean,
think
yes.
This is
If
very
it makes
modern.
you feel any better, this character has nothing to plus anything on it. The only attunement slot he has right now is for winged boots. So this shouldn't fuck you too hard. Unless you like it.
He keeps saying yes, you guys. He must.
Okay. Somebody give me a higher low.
Well, it's obviously high. And if it's not, then it's low, so.
That does sound logical.
Does.
Alright.
Always high.
Alright. Professor, roll me a d6. Okay.
Joe is laughing so hard that the mic cut out. Oh, that's so funny.
That's gotta be good things, right, guys?
Oh, that's so funny.
So among this trader that Naruko has been dealing with, you do identify that there is indeed a Bloodwell vial among the goods here.
Oh, how much for that?
It's the +1. He does explain to you what it is. For the discerning spellcaster such as yourself who needs an extra boost to whatever it is you're looking to do, this Bloodwell vial would set you back 1,200 gold pieces.
That's so much money. How are our funds looking?
So currently, funding wise, we have about 2,600. Worth noting, if you wanted to craft that with Naruko's assistance, it would take 5 days to do, but we could also do it for like 200 gold.
Oh, we can absolutely do that.
Note that Naruko and Jade were currently in the process of working on a neat little book for the professor as well. So you could ask to have that held while we worked on the blood vial instead, or whatever else. So,
right. Professor will pass on purchasing and consider the idea of crafting for another time.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? We've also got, if anyone is looking for such things, there's also an armorer here. There's a weaponsmith as well. There's also a shipwright, as well as this guy who just has, random trade goods. Any common mundane stuff can be bought here. Any simple weaponry, but the armorer will have an array of like +1 weapons and +1 shields, and one of the popular sellers here is indeed the Sentinel shield as well as Samaritan's armor. And the shipwright will have pretty much anything that is available for you to upgrade the ship if you wish to do so. There is also an alchemist here that has that sells different potions.
Want to talk about any potions?
Narco's still got her couple of reserve potions from the last time we stocked up, so she's good.
I think I am as well. How long is the trip across the ocean to Averil?
It will take 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Do we want to try to get any kind of like water breathing or water walking or weather stuff at all?
Narco's good because she one of the infusions she picked up recently was actually Cloak of the Manta Ray.
Cool.
So,
there's also like spell components. If you have any spells that require anything specific, those would be available.
I would be interested in upgrading armor. Because Narco's been rocking scale mail for a while now. It'd be nice to upgrade to half plate.
Yeah, if you're looking for standard half plate, you'll find that here.
How much is that? Because I'm also rocking the scale mail.
So half plate, just standard, costs 750. It's a little offset if you sell off your scale mail at the same time, because the scale mail is only worth about 50, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think I'm good then. I mean, mine it's just up on my stealth, and Jade's not very stealthy anyway, so I'm not worried about it. So Narco can grab that. Also, I did just check my inventory, and I got 0 potions.
I've only got 1.
I'm good.
Ben put in the chat he's got none.
I have 1 potion of greater healing. I got nothing else. So if we wanted any like regular healing potions.
Yeah, regular potions of healing and potions of greater healing are available here.
Should we just pick up like a couple regular potions of healing just to make sure everybody's got one? Just in case.
Yeah, that would be
Let's
prudent.
get 1 potion of regular healing for everybody, and then let's take an extraordinarily long amount of time for Jade to help Narco figure out what kind of armor she wants by helping take her measurements and whatnot.
Oh, that makes sense.
Alright. Everybody please add 1 potion of healing, regular variety, to your inventory. I will deduct that from party points real quick.
Rocket, stop eating
Cool.
hair.
He can't help it. He's weird.
I think you might need to pick up a couple more daggers for Reverie.
We should at least get another stick for Reverie.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
But
I
she
could
has
only
sticks?
carry so many large sticks.
Okay, how about 1 small stick and
Oh, I only
Better
have 9
point.
daggers. I definitely need 1 more.
you need 1 more to make it an even number.
Yeah.
You
Lorelai
took them away.
You can't have less than 10. You guys told me I can't have less than 10.
Yup, that's right.
It was the dagger
It
of
seems
friendship.
safer that way.
Friendship dagger.
I mean, Lorelai had at least 14 that I saw.
That's true, and she gave me 1. So, you know.
Okay. So, Narco has upgraded armor. I think she's hit. She was rocking a 21 AC. But I think that's about the maximum she can possibly get because she's stacking a lot of shit together to get that.
Dear God, woman.
I don't like getting hit. I did not. I took a a very modest con bonus of 12 on this character, which is not my usual.
It's gonna be so funny. Anyone else need anything?
Yuki stocked up on herbs and stuff up at the monastery, so she's good with that. I think Yuki's all right.
Cool.
I'm good.
Do they have strawberries?
You see Jeffrey pulls out
Jeffrey has strawberries.
Jeffrey pulls out a plate of strawberries from his jacket.
It's a plate instead of a bowl this time. He's upgrading.
He's casting it at a
Really
level
an upgrade.
slot.
Jeffrey always has strawberries on hand.
That's what he learned when he went back to the void.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
New culinary creation here, strawberry milk.
Does it come from strawberry cows?
Ophelia has been here.
She might have.
Being chased by Leannon at the time.
They come from pink cows.
What? As far as ship upgrades go, Marco is definitely interested in getting 2 more chase cannons, so that we've got the full complement of 2 in the fore, 2 in the aft.
Mm-hmm.
As fun as heavy cannons for unleashing a broadside would be, they're like 1,500 a pop,
Yeah.
which is rough, even if Narco was building them herself at a discount. So, meanwhile, the other stuff, there's the naval ram, there's silk sails. But those are about the only sort of economical non-canon things that could be picked up potentially. But taking those on will almost certainly like run our budget out entirely. So
Maybe we choose one or the other now, and then as we get to Averil, we're gonna be meeting the Goldwaters eventually. Like we might be able to get this maybe sales or something at that point.
So
I'm
Narco,
sure there's gonna be more like adventuring in Averil.
yeah.
Also,
Narco,
your wedding fund is gonna come in, so
Narco is definitely leaning towards just getting the cannons installed, which would still leave us with about like 800 or so gold left over.
cool.
Should we need stuff. Plus, they proved to be very handy the last time we got into a fight. And the enemies who were attacking us weren't really trying to like sink the ship; they were trying to like board and capture people. So
That's true.
less concern about like upgrading the hull sturdiness or so, at least for right now.
We also seem to mostly like if we can get to a port, we're spending most of our time on land still. So it's mostly just the travel in between. And if we can keep them from ever getting near us, if something happens, then we don't really need to upgrade the hull.
Yep.
At least at this time.
So with that, Narco will commission 2 more chase cannons for the Corvus.
Okay. Yeah. So you can commission that. Let's see. Those suckers will be 600 gold a pop. And let's see. If you're looking to roll out by the next day, they say they can have you ready to go by tomorrow afternoon.
Great.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. Awesome to the max.
Alright. With that, head back aboard the ship. Let the crew know that we intend to set out tomorrow afternoon once the outfitting is done, and we're going to set course for Averil.
We still want to try to go to Elgroth first, or
Yeah, that's
has
the.
any of that changed since the prophecy stuff?
Nope. Still going to Elgroth first. Probably if we're looking to try and maintain as much of an element of surprise as we can, probably for the best if we take that option of landing by the coast and of heading aboard in a small boat and then making our way to the city on foot and then investigating how to get to the headquarters from there.
That's a good plan. Should we try to ask any of the crew or any of the sailors on the docks if any of them have been to Elgroth before, or should we just kind of keep that just amongst the crew and just try our best?
I think we can check with our crew to see if anyone has the information first, and if they don't, but they know some knowledgeable people ashore here, I think we should probably. It's better for us to ask and have that going in,
Right.
as opposed to not.
Okay, maybe we just do that tonight then, and just get that information tonight and tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Morning. So that will work. It's fine.
Yep. Joe, what would you have for like a gather information check? Investigation?
Yeah, let's do investigation.
I'll assist with the tech thoughts.
I will gladly roll that one.
Yes.
So what is it that you're looking to find out? Like what the situation is with trying to dock directly at Elgroth?
It's a combination of just information on how to approach Elgroth, stuff we should know about the place itself while operating there, and if they're really, really up to date, what they know about those like caves further into the mountain and how to access them.
Okay. So, what we know about Elgroth? So Elgroth is as you guys already know, it is a town of mostly monstrous races. It is primarily an orc settlement. Getting to town is can be easy because you can dock directly there. As far as the cave that is settled in the Elgroth Mountains, again, what you already know is that the harbor leading to the cave is very shallow, very craggy, so large ships don't really have much of a chance of getting there. But if you're trying to get in sneaky like, there is some places that you can make landfall that is in there. I'm gonna actually let's pull up a map. Bam. So if you look at that map, you can kind of see where Cirrus Harbor is. You can kind of dock directly into Elgroth from there. There is, if you're trying to get in stealthy, you can get in. There is some land around Umberlee's Reef where you can kind of drop anchor just offshore, and you can kind of stealthily make your way in silently. And there's like a path through the mountains that you can get there. As for the city itself, it is the kind of city where it's like one of those places where you don't want to drop your guard, you don't want to show any weakness because they'll pounce on that immediately. Um, anyone who is half orc, they're considered like lesser than, so they don't have a really great stature there. The cave itself, no one has really been to because it is difficult to get through. They do believe that there is passage, at least one method of passage to get there is through the city itself. You can get into the Elgroth Mountains and kind of follow a network of caves to kind of get into that area that leads down to where Cirrus Harbor is. Did I answer everything you were looking for?
Sure. So the question is for the group whether we want to take the risk of docking in Elgroth itself, or go on the other side, park by the reef, and like make our way through the mountain range to get to the cave just directly.
If we go to the city, the odds of us being spotted if it's a place that's mostly home to orcs and things, it's pretty high. Especially if they're going to keep watch on it. So if we want to be sneaky, it might be best for us to go dock away and make our way through the mountains and try to get just directly into the caves before they know we're coming, if it's even possible. But if they already know we're on our way, we might as well just go in through the city and make it a little bit easier on ourselves.
I'd say between the two options, I lean more towards going through the mountain.
Mm-hmm. I say we at least aim for that if we're trying to be sneaky, and then if for some reason things go sideways and they know we're coming anyway, then we can decide if we want to just go directly to the city at that point.
If I find it to be a high likelihood the cult knows we are going to head towards Averil, but it's still possible they don't know that we know and are going to target their stronghold in Elgroth.
Right.
If the only real benefit, the biggest benefit of going to Elgroth first is that we might have the element of surprise on our side. So it behooves us to try and maximize that as much as possible. So I say ducking away from Elgroth, avoiding any of their spies or warning systems within that town, and then making straight for their heart is probably our best bet. No guarantee that it will work out that way, but I'd rather go with that than the plethora of unknowns that arriving in Elgroth is.
I like that idea too, because again, if we go right into the city, we're gonna stick out. Red might not.
We for good and ill, we make our mark wherever we go.
That's true.
And only a few of us are really all that great at sort of moving unseen at a baseline.
Yeah, that's not me. I'm not good at that.
Yeah, I've got a trick or two that can help us, but they're very limited. So the minimal amount of time that we need to rely on that, the better.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you think we should go the sneaky way?
I agree with drawing the least amount of attention to ourselves as possible.
Ren, Professor, Reverie?
Agreed.
Okay.
Also
Sounds
want
like
to
a
draw the
Bible.
least amount of attention as possible, considering there are still people hunting me.
That's true. Well, but we've stopped every single one who's ever tried. And now that Temerity is awake, maybe they'll stop coming after you.
Maybe. And I'm not exactly hiding, and she just gestures to herself.
That's true. Also, we're all
Anymore.
together, and we're really easy to spot.
But still, I think we should be careful.
Careful is good. I think careful is good.
All right. Well,
okay.
We've got our plan together. We'll see if it survives contact with the enemy. I'm planning to do some more work on this tome with you tonight, Jade.
Sounds great. I'll be happy to help.
All right. I've done everything I need to do before we set sail tomorrow. So that's it for me.
Anyone else got stuff?
Nope.
No, Yuki's good.
I'm good.
All right.
I meant to ask real quick, and apologies for waiting until now, but Yuki doesn't look any different right now, right? Only when she's cool. Okay,
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I
Yeah.
didn't completely whiff on that.
No.
I thought it, and then I second guessed myself.
Yeah, no, I put it in the bottom of the thing. Within an hour, her hair will fade back to her normal color, and
Cool.
she'll just be regular Yuki.
Oh
That's
man.
why I didn't bother with the change of token, because unless they're in combat, or shortly after, it's just gonna be regular Yuki.
Oh man. The next combat session is gonna be wild.
I can.
I know it is.
Since you've revealed that art, what I can tell you, I can make you a multi-sided token so that when you want to go Super Saiyan, you can flip the art on your token whenever you want to do that.
Yeah, like Willa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Willa, who has a people person now.
Yeah, she does.
So her boyfriend can take it out for a spin.
She can take her new body out for a spin.
Yeah, Loris.
Oh gosh.
So
But I have a question for the group. And I only want to bring this up just so that we have, since we're all here together having dinner at this table at one place, and all these biscuits are very lovely. What do we do once we recover the teleportation piece? She says that as if like there's no doubt in her mind that they're going to recover it and it's going to be fine. So do we just keep the piece with us and just make sure they can't get it? Or do we actually use it to recover the artifact and then hide it somewhere else so they can't find it because it won't be where they thought it was?
I think we should eventually make use of it to recover the artifact so it can be moved elsewhere. I do not feel the need to do that until after we have removed as many agents as we can track, as well as ensuring that the portal key is also well secured, because we may need use of that to acquire other artifacts once the first one is secured.
Portal key?
And I'm obliquely referring to the big gemstone of importance.
The clavis?
Yes, that.
Yeah. So out of character, do correct me if I'm wrong. The clavis doesn't let you go to other realities. It just seals the void, right?
So,
like they want to use the clavis to destroy it so that they can travel to the other realities, right?
yes, with the clavis broken, it weakens the veil between worlds. That travel to other realities is easier to do.
Okay. But the clavis itself won't let us do that.
Correct.
Okay. I want to make sure my notes are right. I don't want Jade arguing the wrong point. Yeah. So, we'll take care of all the little pieces first, and then we'll take care of the
Yes.
interconnecting pieces that go after that.
Yeah. Swat the hands away from fiddling with the keystones to reality, and then after that, we can be the ones fiddling with the keystones, but in the good way.
But in a good way, right? We're locking the door.
We're trying to mitigate any further damage from what has already been caused, and then we can start the process of fixing.
Right, great idea. I like that idea. Okay. Well, good. And we're all in agreement with that? Question at everyone else?
I'm content with this plan.
Okay.
Aye.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Great. Okay. So that will be our plan, unless something drastically forces us to change that plan. But I think it's a good plan. It's a solid plan. It's definitely a plan.
Just waiting for the twin note to start up, and Marcus was just SOS.
Right? I was like, part of me is like, this is a great plan. And then a week into our trip, Marcus is going to be like, hey, everything's on fire. Or we get somewhere and then it's like, hey, by the way, Trulam Tarim has declared war on Darnamar, and in order to do that, they've taken over Tremonto. And we're like, what the fuck? We have to go.
This got political way too quick.
This got political too quickly. They're all playing war games. It's nuts. Yeah. So good. Okay.
I have had a D&D game transition into like a 4-week long game of diplomacy as we fought over a civil war. So it happens. Don't think it doesn't.
I mean, I don't put it past us to get involved in things that have nothing to do with the main plot, but are still important for our characters to do, or because we think it's the right thing. So obviously we're going to interfere. Everyone else is stupid, and we're going to take care of this.
We're the ones we're the player characters. We're the ones with the 20s and the mental stats. We can do this.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Everyone else has a hit point of 10 max, which means we're good. Some people are just a guide.
Loris had 19 hit points.
Yes, and he still died. So if he's better now, he's fine.
He has a small but non-zero probability of surviving if Naruto were to shoot him once.
Only
He's way
once.
stronger now.
Just once the warning shot.
He basically has a 25% chance to live. Generously.
He's all strong now. All he had to do was wish that he was away from me. Wait, what?
It's awful.
No.
That's just the way life goes.
Right.
But see, that's what happens when you let your adventurer friends grow for their own adventures, and why the 20th level adventurers aren't interfering right now. But also because it seems like they're like, you guys can take care of it. We got a bakery.
You got it. I gotta make some beer.
We got stuff going on. I mean, again, it's for all intents and purposes, none of them think that it's actually world-ending nonsense that's happening that they need to interfere with. Yet.
It's like, okay, the sky is still where I left it. We're probably still good.
Sky still left it. The gods are still responding. Everything's good today.
And then one day
the hell got a little bit bigger, but you know that happens.
Just one day the sun just stops in the middle of the sky and doesn't move ever. We'll probably do something then. That might be worth investigating. But right now we're good.
At that point, I'll stop baking cookies and we'll go figure it out. But right now, no.
I mean, there's enough people in this realm that Lorelai still cares about. So I mean, it was actually the end of the world. She might say something.
I mean,
maybe.
I will not respond to that line of questioning at the moment because, yeah.
Because reasons.
You'll find out.
So, you gather for your last evening here in Wayburn Port. You are obviously able to stay on the ship while the new cannons are being set up. And by noon the next day, you are all ready to set sail for new adventure, for new places, for new things that we haven't seen before.
Woo!
Yeah.
New!
Guys, we're going to a new continent.
We are we're about to start a new act in our story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Level up.
Not yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I know it's a little bit early, but this does feel like a good place to cut things off for the evening. Also because I definitely need to prepare some stuff, so yeah.
Cool. And you guys are going to be off on a magical adventure next week, so no session, correct? Or is that the weekend?
So this weekend, this coming weekend, we're going to be here. The week after, we will not. So Joe and I will be here on the 5th, just not the 12th.
Well, I'm talking about Wednesday though.
Yes, we will not be. We will not be here.
We'll not be here on the 8th.
On the 8th.
On the 8th.
Yes.
But you will be back for the 15th?
Correct.
That is the plan,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah, we'll be gone. We'll basically be gone from the 6th through the 14th. So we'll miss the 8th, the 9th, and the 12th. Be back for everything else.
Go to the ring.
Woo woo. Woo.
Uh,
Woo woo. We're just gonna do this at each other now. I think.
Woo
That's what we're doing. Woo woo.
Yep.
Woo. 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 All right, guys. Should I take Water Walk as a spell?
I mean, sure.
I can change my spells out daily, so.
might be useful in a pinch. Because you can
Yeah.
hit like multiple people with the casting, and it's not concentration, if I recall. Is that right?
Let's see. Up to 10 willing creatures you can see within range gain this ability, yes, for the duration, and it is 1 hour long.
Yep.
So I will prepare that, and I will not have sending anymore, but I will have that.
Yep. If we have a desire for sending, we can do a reswap.
Yeah, I can always swap things out on the next day. So, but for right now, I'm doing it now. That way, I have it ready to go. On the off chance, the immediate day that we leave, we get our asses like kicked by something. A giant whale comes out of nowhere. I don't know.
Was that a bless you, Suzanne?
You know what? I thought it, but I didn't say it. But yeah, okay, bless you.
Haha!
Nominate Ren for having chit chat with God.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
yes.
Getting a nat 20 with talking with God.
You always want a nat 20 when you talk with God. You never want the nat 1.
It does
Right?
help, but I already have 2 inspiration.
I probably everybody does because I gave everybody inspirations 2 weeks in a row.
I have.
You're right.
But,
Okay, fair.
Who does not have 2 inspirations right now?
I'm at 0.
Oh
Really?
well, that one then.
Yep, I've used mine.
Temerity is Rubbery the only one who doesn't have inspirations right now?
I've got 2 inspirations, and my amulet has its extra charge in, so I've got all things up to capacity.
Right.
I've got my 2 amulet charges, but I never use attacks.
Maybe you should look into that. Is what we're saying.
I've got 10 daggers, but I have so many spells now that I don't need them very often.
It's just
Well,
good
an
to have them.
attack.
Some
Just
spells have
so you
attack
have
rolls.
Yeah, but fireball.
I mean, that's a good
You
point.
can't solve all your problems with Fireball, Temerity.
Fine.
That's
I mean,
Kate's not a friend, and let them solve your problems.
fine. Blindness.
It's a funny thing to say for somebody in Fireball.
Motherfucker. You keep that blindness shit to yourself.
What?
Keep that to
All of the
yourself.
characters.
I didn't do anything.
I've made it a goal
You
of mine.
fucking blinded me. That's what you did.
Technically, Temerity did.
Uh-huh.
Technically,
We're not-
Joe
we're not-
we did.
We're not the same person, Yuki.
Right. I know
You
you're
have
the same
Changeling's
person,
pot.
but
That's
Please.
racist, really, is what that is.
I'm making a goal of mine to blind every single one of Alice's characters at least once.
I hate you so much.
He's also making it a goal to make sure there's a mimic somewhere that Ben will touch.
Ha!
That doesn't take
you-
much effort.
You guys are too high level for mimics now.
Says you.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah.
And
You
let's
don't know
just
what
say-
this mimic. You don't know
You're
what
just
this
using
mimic
the
has
wrong
been
mimic.
through.
That is true. They have gotten larger mimics. I could also put like just 5 in a room.
Also,
Oh,
just
good.
have
A
a
mimic for
swarm-
everybody.
Have a mimic swarm, dude.
And
They're
you get a
mimics.
mimic,
They
and
can
you
eat
get a mimic,
anything.
and you get a mimic.
Swarm of
Everybody
mimics.
gets a mimic. Woo! Mimic swarm.
Fucking not with that attitude, Neville.
That-
Very
Look.
fucking well done.
Look, one day the potion mimic is going to make its appearance, and you're not ready for it.
You're not. You'll never be ready for that.
Are
Try
you?
to
Because you're only encountering that one when you're already in a bad situation.
Yep.
try to take a potion. It's really just a pseudopod coming out of that vial.
Oh, it's just attached to your face hugger style at that point.
We did not ask for that.
Ooh.
uh,
So inspiration to reverie for being a cool person.
Also,
Yeah,
for
sounds good to
Reverie
me.
for being the one who was like super paranoid, this like on the trip back of like, what do you mean this isn't Varian? And now
Yeah.
I'm watching everyone and rolling a nat 20 on their perception check to see if we were being followed or stalked.
Which we weren't at the moment.
We weren't at the moment. But how can you even tell? Because we didn't even know Varian was a replacement of something until afterwards, which means that like everyone's a suspect.
Yeah,
Also, was
I
I
kept
right?
an eye out at the docks.
I swear Varian's token had like longer blonde hair the last time we saw him.
I don't know. I purposely looked through the tokens and the character art that I have, and what I have in my folders is the same as what was on that map.
Okay, because I was like,
But did we come across like a different person with? Because there was a couple people with blonde hair that we came across.
I don't
It was a different thing.
I don't think I
That's
used
the lore.
that one.
No, not that one.
That's a person we haven't seen yet.
no, in my memory, I have like a darker, tan skinned elf, like with more blonde hair that we like met in Wayburn Port, like in my memory, which I might just be crazy. That could just be me problem.
Guys, did
don't
we get to
remember.
a different universe?
I'm gonna be real honest with everybody right now. I don't remember any of the token art anytime I see it, aside from ours. So the ones
love
that
this.
stick out are the characters we interact with a lot, or like have a very distinct look, like Aletha.
Mhm.
She looks like a power CEO, and I'm just like, that's a crazy thing for someone in a fantasy world to wear, and you're awesome, and I love you. So I remember her. I didn't
Yeah.
remember Varian's token at all. I was just like, that's the guy, cool. I just went with it.
I mean, he's the guy at the place with the thing. That seems legit.
Until he's like, yeah, I don't know you, and we're like, what? And then me going, but don't we recognize him? What is happening?
Which after that
That went
started,
good.
I was like, oh, was Joe like joking and gaslighting me for a second there? Was I actually onto something?
Right?
I'm like, no, that's just me
No,
being
it's just
that's
the
just me
guy.
being accidentally correct.
We have
There
trust
was-
issues.
There was one other person that you met here when you first landed. That was Zafira, who's the harbor master. This one.
Yeah, but we saw her like unless I'm
She's
getting
at the
her
wheel.
art like mixed in my head with Varians, and that's where I got
Maybe.
it. But
Because she was also tan with long blonde hair. That was like
yeah.
her hair was like kind of like floating a little bit.
This,
Yeah.
this doesn't
It's like-
count. Everybody's tan and long blonde hair and beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
But like the
insane.
because I thought when we saw like Varian, like I remember thinking to myself, because I thought his surname sounded stupid similar to the harbor master, and he looked similar to her. So I was like, are they related? Are they
Yeah,
actually like?
So I picked out a lot of like random names because I'm terrible at naming NPCs, and then I didn't
He doesn't
realize.
let me do it. I'll just name everybody like
Like
Jim.
one's
and,
like Sandwalker, and the other one's like Doom Crosser or something.
Varian doom
There
scroller.
was there was Varian Sandwalker, and then there was Alethea Sandstone, and Zafira Sandstrider or something like that.
Sandstrider and
Sandstrider.
Sandwalker. That's where I got it from.
So I was picking random names, and then when I finally put it all together, I was like, ah, fuck.
But you know what? It kind of makes sense in the way that like in the area that they're living in, a lot of people would have like the name like you have a surname for a reason. There's a lot of reasons people are named Smith. You know, Sandwalker, Dune Scraper, whatever the hell. Like you're living in a giant sandstorm, so you're all gonna have something that goes with whatever it is you do. I like it though. Wayburn Port was fun. Wayburn Port was fun. Glad we found Temerity. Lorelei's mad that Temerity didn't come home. So
Lorelai have control issues.
yes, who here is new aside from all of our characters who don't know her and her problems yet?
What's with you kidnapping my characters and their relatives in this mountain range trip?
That's a little awkward, actually.
Yeah, that's happened. That's happened 3 times now.
Yeah.
A little awkward, man.
Man,
It's-
I do have feelings, don't I?
Helvar's mom. Helvar.
It's
Verity.
like poetry. It rhymes.
No, George.
You just have the most kidnappable characters, Ben.
Okay, that's trauma-inducing.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
I don't think it is. I gotta go
mean,
shuffle
I-
pets. You guys have a
that
good night.
one-
Bye, everybody.
Add
Have a good night.
that one. Add that one to your bio, Ben. Submissive and captainable.
Listen,
Look, I can hold you down, is all I'm saying.
Sometimes I'm not a very clever person, and I fall back on the same tropes.
There's tropes for a reason. Also, not for nothing, Ben's characters are the ones who had reasons to be kidnapped. Like, you can't kidnap Lorelai.
You could.
You could try.
You could have
With
in the
different-
past.
In the past, you could have. First of all, you would want to kill her if you kidnapped her. She won't shut up. She will bother you until you try to attack her, and then she will kick you in the balls and then take your dagger and leave.
Would Faye realize what was going on if somebody was like, "Hey, you should just come with us," and then like politely kidnapped her?
Probably not. Unfortunately, she would definitely follow them if they were just super nice to her. Just like, we have something to show you. And she's like, really? What? It's down this way. It's so cool. I would love to see a cool thing down that way. She would immediately get kidnapped. And she wouldn't even realize she was kidnapped until 4 months later. And they're all best friends now. So it's not a problem anymore.
Stockholm Syndrome says what?
Hi,
Yeah, for
Rosie.
who's seeing Stockholm Syndrome. They are. That's who. So, like,
All right, guys. I
of
am
all
also
of our
gonna go
characters,
sneaky.
yeah, like, Ben's
What-
characters
what?
are the ones who could do it.
I'm going
What
sleepy.
are you talking about? No, it's only 11.
Why?
I'm going sleepy.
Stay up with
Why?
us.
Oh,
Yes.
I'll stay up
Why?
tomorrow night.
That are like 15 more minutes.
Ugh.
Turn your camera on. Hang out with us for 15 more minutes.
Did you hear the sigh of just resigned?
so defeated.
Look, we have to get through why the other characters couldn't be kidnapped so Ben doesn't feel like he's too submissive right now.
I
Or
also
just
need-
into that sort of thing.
I also need
Listen,
to figure out who I'm.
It's
considering
okay.
to.
I can be a bottom sometimes.
Yeah, you are, and Cal and Lorelai both know that.
Oh, Lord.
Also, you're giving inspiration to Reverie because
Yeah.
of her awesome paranoia and nat 20 perception check.
Exactly.
Also, they're the only person who can get inspiration right now. And you couldn't kidnap Edward because he's dead. And you couldn't kidnap Z because her family was also dead, and there was the kidnapping wasn't really going to happen because she already had a demon in her brain, so you
Yeah.
didn't need to do that. Fedwin, his dad's a lumberjack. Are you going to mess with that? I don't think so. You
Mm-mm.
gonna have Steven come after you? No, none of that.
Even.
You can't kidnap Sephi. She's too fucking cute.
Also, she'll put Shatter on and fucking kill
Also,
you.
she will just
No.
immediately light up Shatter, and you're done.
It's not Shatter you gotta worry about. It's fucking Earthquake.
Yeah, it's Earthquake. It's Earthquake, or just I create a door here.
I go now through the door. Bye.
Sephi just has fucking Fissure from Pokemon, where it's a one-hit kill where you're just dropped into the center of the earth and you're gone.
Yes. Also, Ben had the only had the only character who had like a reason for someone to like be off in the wind somewhere and potentially being hunted. No one else had that. So
I do tend to do that. So
thus the kidnapping of your mom,
ropes.
thus the hunting of your mother, who didn't actually get kidnapped.
I mean, that's what you get when you don't do the buddy system. Just saying.
I told you so. All the way to the ever after.
Z is buddy systemed up with Edward, and then with all you guys. Buddy system.
Yeah, you have to buddy system. This party doesn't know that entirely just yet, and we're about to split up in the worst possible scenarios.
When's the last time Lorelai yelled at Telvar for having a buddy or not having a buddy?
Yes.
Yesterday.
I was gonna say
Yesterday.
7 minutes ago.
Earlier. You don't even have a Shara anymore. You don't even have a person in your
No.
brain to reach out to me if there's a problem. So now it's an issue. Now that's how you get paired up with Leannon. Thank you. You're welcome. She's not even mine. She's Mab's, and she's still on your ass.
And why is she following me for you?
Because it's funny.
Oh. Okay.
Also, she said that if you get punched in the face, I can have the teeth fall out. So,
Well, it's been a long time since I've been punched in the face, so you might be waiting a very long time.
that's fine. I can wait. Yay, Joe's face.
No Allison face.
I know. Allison, where's your face?
I'm still here. I'm doing a thing. Jesus,
Face!
I'm doing a thing. And then you can have my face.
I need to have a snippet that gets written about Sir Talavar bothering Temerity. By the way. Just throwing that out there to you two, that needs to happen in one of the roleplay channels eventually.
Okay. We can make it happen.
Do it.
I need to get back into roleplay, but my brain has not been functioning.
Dude, it's fine.
I get that.
It has been functioning. It's been being dumb.
Huh.
No, brain. I love you.
Yeah, whatever.
See, I just keep harassing Mars to do things. I'm like, we're gonna talk about this now. He's like, fucking fine. Like, now we're gonna talk about this. Fine.
Let's see. I have some cool things for sure. One is that I'm starting to get phone interviews for jobs.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
One of them will be next Wednesday, so we'll see how that goes.
Interesting. Very cool. Very cool. Are any